Imagine a world where the cost of moving a product was often more than the cost of making it. Before the 1960s, this was reality. The global shipping industry, the lifeblood of trade, was a chaotic, slow, and incredibly expensive affair. Harbors were crowded with men, not machines, who manually loaded and unloaded every single item from sacks of coffee to crates of electronics one piece at a time. A ship could spend more time docked in port being serviced than it did sailing the ocean. This inefficiency kept prices high and international trade limited to only the most valuable goods. This all changed because of a simple, standardized steel box. But the story of the container is not about the box itself, it's about the revolutionary system built around it. The architect of this revolution was not a shipping magnate, but a man from the trucking business named Malcolm McLean. Frustrated by traffic-clogged highways and restrictive government regulations that limited where his trucks could go, McLean had a radical idea in the 1950s. Instead of just driving goods to the port to be unloaded, why not lift the entire truck trailer directly onto the ship? He soon refined this idea, realizing that the wheels took up valuable space. The true innovation was a detachable, stackable box that could be moved seamlessly from a truck chassis to a ship and then onto a train car without ever being opened. For McLean, the business wasn't about sailing ships, it was about moving cargo efficiently. This systems-based approach was completely foreign to the traditional maritime world. However, innovation is rarely welcomed with open arms. McLean's idea faced enormous resistance from nearly every corner of the industry. The powerful longshoremen's unions saw the container as an existential threat. A single crane operator and a few supervisors could now do the work that once required dozens of men, threatening to erase entire communities built around port labor. This led to massive, costly strikes and years of bitter negotiations. At the same time, the shipping industry itself, comfortable in its old ways, operated through cartels that fixed prices based on the type of cargo, not the efficiency of transport. Railroads and competing trucking companies also fought against a system that threatened their business models. For years, the container remained a niche concept, struggling to gain a foothold in a world built for a different era. A breakthrough finally came from an unexpected source: the Vietnam War. In the mid-1960s, the U.S. military faced a logistical nightmare trying to supply its rapidly growing number of troops. Vietnam's ports were primitive and quickly became overwhelmed, with ships waiting for weeks just to be unloaded. Cargo was lost, damaged, and stolen. In desperation, the military turned to McLean's company, Sealand. McLean implemented a full container system, building a modern port at Cam Ranh Bay, complete with cranes and a computerized tracking system. The results were staggering. Supplies moved faster, more securely, and with a fraction of the labor. The war became the ultimate proof of concept for containerism. As a bonus, the ships returning from Vietnam to the U.S. were able to stop in Japan, kick-starting container trade with Asia's booming economy and laying the groundwork for future global supply chains. With its value proven, the container industry entered a period of explosive growth and fierce competition. The new name of the game was scale. Companies realized that bigger ships were dramatically more efficient, as they could carry twice the cargo with nearly the same size crew and fuel consumption. This led to an arms race to build larger vessels and deeper ports with bigger cranes to service them. The massive upfront investment required was a huge gamble. Ports that failed to adapt, like New York City, lost their dominance to new, container-ready hubs like nearby Newark, New Jersey. The flood of new larger ships created overcapacity, which in turn shattered the old price-fixing cartels and caused shipping costs to plummet. While this was great for customers, it was brutal for the shipping lines, leading to bankruptcies and consolidations. Even the visionary Malcolm McLean eventually lost his company, a casualty of the high-stakes industry he had created. By the 1980s, the container system had fully matured. Deregulation in the U.S. allowed for seamless contracts between ships, trains, and trucks, creating a truly interconnected logistics network. The impact on the global economy was profound and permanent. With transportation costs reduced to a tiny fraction of a product's total price, geography became less of a barrier to trade. Companies could now source raw materials on one continent, manufacture parts on another, and assemble the final product on a third, all based on where it was cheapest and most efficient. This gave rise to the modern practice of logistics management and enabled just-in-time manufacturing, reducing the need for costly warehouses. The humble steel box didn't just change shipping, it flattened the world, creating the complex, interconnected, and globalized economy we live in today.